Hello, my name is Dr. Ginny Baro, your GCA host on GCA Studios, brought to you by GameChangeAgency.com. I'm also the founder and CEO of Fearless Women at Work, a career strategy and executive coaching company supporting organizations and talented professionals to develop in business and in life. And so today I have the pleasure to be here with Lori Hardwick, who I'll introduce to you in 1 second. But first, let me tell you what she and I will be talking about. Today, we'll be talking about 3 key things. The first one is the harsh realities for the financial services industry. And then we'll move on to talk about thought leadership and what is it going to take for us to be thought leaders at this time in our economy and this complex environment. And also, she's going to share with us her insights regarding how to create and build work cultures that lead to high performance and high employee engagement. So welcome, Lori.
Thank you, Jenny. I'm so excited about this. Thanks for asking me to participate in this with you.
Me too, me too. You know, the purpose for this channel, for those of us that are listening, is that I find that as leaders, it really is our responsibility to be role models. And so when we take responsibility and ownership to developing ourselves so we can bring our best version forward, our employees, our clients, our organizations, and society flourishes. So that's the reason why we're having these courageous conversations.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about Lori. She's a veteran. She comes with a lot of experience and has more than 25 years working in financial services. Now, she's a prominent voice for financial advice, and she's now the founder and the president of Advisor Innovation Labs, which she'll tell us all about. As a leader in this capacity, she's leading an organization creating innovative, sophisticated, and intuitive systems of engagement by connecting disparate financial technology solutions. Now, most recently, Lori served as a chief operating officer at Pershing, a BNY Mellon company, where she also shared leadership with the CEO for managing the Pershing family of companies. Now, in 2016, Lori was named to the Women to Watch list. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And that was by the Investment News. And she was also recognized in 2016 as one of the 25 most influential people in the financial industry. Now, Lori is a graduate from The Ohio State University with a Bachelor's of Arts degree. And she's also a graduate of the University of Chicago Booth Advanced Management Executive Program. So as you can see, we have a lot to talk about, and Lori is drawing from an extensive background. And so let's get right into it, Lori. Let's talk about your why, because as Simon Sinek says, people really care about why you do what you do. Not so much what you do and how you do it, but why you do it. And I think when you answer the question, we're going to get right into our first topic, which is the harsh realities for the financial services industry.
That's right. Well, again, thank you for having me on, Jenny. And, you know, the why is really important for me. And I think it actually should be for all leaders. The why, from my perspective, is that I care about advisory. I care about people getting the right advice so that they can meet their goals and dreams. And not that I'm on the front lines giving that. I actually don't think I'd have the patience to work directly with end investors, but I'm helping fuel the solutions that advisors need to be able to work smart and hopefully be able to create time in their day and productivity in their day so that they can meet with more clients and have more meaningful conversations because of the data elements we're able to bring together. So for me, the why is really about being impactful in a mission that I really love.
That's great. So let's talk about these harsh realities and what have you garnered from all those years of experience? And I know you wrote a LinkedIn article about this as well. So can you give us the highlights?
Of course. So it is, you know, I do believe we are at a tipping point for our industry right now. There are 3 harsh realities that I was able to kind of look at from a different lens when I had the last 6 months to kind of think of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it after leaving Pershing. First is that I believe we are, as an industry, are focused on the wrong problems.
What does that mean?
So, people will look at the next best app or the next best cool technology that they think they need to serve client demands and or to be as relevant as they should be. And in my opinion, we really should be looking at all the disparate app stacks that advisors are having to use on a regular basis, which are actually kind of hindering their time in the day. Many of the siloed app stacks ask for the same information, for example. So I'm trying to figure out ways where we can weave together those disparate app stacks so that there's more interconnectivity and that they don't have to throw away what they've already invested in, but rather build a interaction level on top of that. Second was that I believe that clients are out kind of finding new, better ways every day. They are highly demanding of great solutions right now and great, experience. And everyone in our industry seems to be talking about, yeah, we need better experience, but no one's really doing anything to revolutionize the way advisors and clients interact. We all kind of go back to our tables and say, okay, let's call our client. Let's force them to go through this crazy onboarding experience that is long and cumbersome and usually ends up with more to do afterwards. It's not digitized. It's not in a frictionless way, and it's really not creating an experience that the clients deserve or that the advisors want to give. And third, millennials, say what you will, but they are onto something when they say, I want what I want when I want it. I believe that advisors need the same thing. They need to be able to get to what they want, when they want it, so that they can work smarter, work faster, work better, and be able to serve more clients ultimately.
That's right. That's going to help their productivity, and it's also going to help them deliver what the client really needs in the time that they need it.
That's right.
Okay, great. And so I know this is going to dovetail into the next topic, which is thought leadership, right? So how is your company, Advisor Innovation Labs, being a thought leader, and how is your leadership helping in that regard?
So, we strongly believe that the closer organizations and the whole organization can work together in a fully aligned way is going to help provide a not only better environment that's more engaging and fun for the employees, but give a better service and technology to end clients. So I believe first that you have to have a mission that is very clear among your employees and that it's something impactful to them, that it is actually something that they value and gets them excited about getting up every day. I've always said that we spend more time at work than we do anywhere else with our friends or family or doing hobbies we love. So it should be something you love. And if you love it, you're not going to feel burned out. You're not going to feel that you don't want to be there. You're going to feel fulfilled. And I believe as thought leaders throughout the organization or throughout our industry, we can start to think from the lens of our employees and from the lens of our clients. The other thing that I've found is that the higher up the ladder you get in any role, in any organization, whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people, you are all of a sudden protected from some bad information. Sure. People see you and you say, how are you doing? And they say, oh, everything's great. Everything's been great. Our clients love us. Well, the fact is that's a nice conversation to have, but it's not a truthful conversation.
Or helpful.
No.
Yeah.
There's always problems. There's always issues. And unless senior management knows about those problems and issues, they can't fix them. Right. So you have to, as a leader, I think, continue to engage with your end clients. Ask them, what's your experience? What can we be improving on? And make sure that your employees have a very open and honest relationship with you and vice versa. I think that communication is important.
I agree. But also, wouldn't you say that requires a leader who really embraces the vulnerability that we have as humans, right?
Absolutely. I think the three things I think are the most important, especially as I think of women in this industry, because there's not a lot of us. One is vulnerability. You have to allow yourself to feel uncomfortable and to be at risk at times. I have over time gotten used to that and calculated risks at that, but I think you have to be vulnerable. The other thing is you have to be authentic. And I think it's really important to be yourself. And as I said, do what you love to do. Don't fight it. Don't do something because your parents wanted you to do it. Do it because you love to do it. And third is confidence. I think you have to have the confidence in something that's meaningful. So there's very few leaders who've gotten up and said, you know what? I want to be rich and successful. And they've gone on, and I mean, there's a few who've made it, but there's not a lot from that ego-driven standpoint who have been able to get many, organizations to where they need to be. The mission needs to be bigger than yourself, and you need to make sure that you're hiring people that believe in that mission and want to push it forward with you.
Which is absolutely what we talked about, what we're going to talk about in our third topic, which is how do we build those cultures? And I believe that it does start with us as the leader. I think you're hitting the right points and having going in for the right reasons, which is why we started with your why, is the key. Because to me, it's amazing that now after so many years working in financial services, you're going into your own, doing your own gig as running Advisor Innovation Labs. We were discussing before this interview how your whole family is relocating.
Right.
So that is really commendable. And I can see just by speaking with you how excited you are about this and how meaningful this is to you. So let's talk a little bit about how to build those cultures, right? It's easier said than done, as most of us have heard. And so how do you build a team that is excited to come to work and who feels that he or she can be their innovative selves safely at work?
Well, there's a lot to that. I think that you're hitting on a topic that's very important. It starts at hiring. When you're talking with people at the very beginning, you need to ask those questions. What are you passionate about? What do you want to do? What motivates you? And I think that building a culture that is very honest about who they are and making that clear from the start is really important, because people today need to find a fit for them. And there's a lot to that. It can be a cultural fit. It could be how much autonomy they have. It can be, how much impact they have sitting around the table for strategy. There's a lot of different ways people are motivated. And it's important as leaders to sit down, I believe, build relationships with each person and figure out what really motivates them so that you can keep them engaged and excited.
Right.
It's usually different person by person, whether that's intrinsic or extrinsic. People frequently, some people are motivated by having a bigger office than others or a title, but understanding that and understanding the emotional side of why they're working is important. Building the culture, it's been really fun building the culture here from ground up. We allow folks to bring their dogs to work. We take care of lunch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so that it builds that community. People are sitting and having lunch together. We have a generous vacation schedule that allows them that if they don't use all their vacation, we pay them back for some of it, or allows them the flexibility when they want to work from home or have children issues. I've been a mom, I've been a working mom my whole life, and I would have loved to have that latitude along the way. But now that we're in these positions to make the decisions to build a better culture that is, family oriented, balanced, but yet, demanding and challenging on things that we love to do. Yeah.
And you mentioned burnout before, right? This is something that my clients are dealing with all the time. And all of us have faced at one point or another where we felt burned out. And so, part of helping that situation is what you described, building the culture so that we have some flexibility that allows us to deal with life and to deal with business. But I always say, at the end of the day, it's a lot about results, right? We have to deliver.
That's right.
We have to deliver.
yet you have to celebrate those results too.
Exactly.
I think that I'm a big believer in let's celebrate our milestones. And certainly at a startup or a large organization, you have milestones, celebrate together. Make that a, we're rowing in the same direction. We're living, we win together, we lose together. And it becomes even a stronger team, I think, if you can really get that across and live it and be honest about it.
And so how would you say, because you've been on both sides of the spectrum, you've been with a startup and you're been with a big company, right?
That's right.
So how do you continue to cultivate that type of culture when you're much larger, right? Because you've been on both ends.
That's right. Well, at Pershing, it was quite easy. They do a good job of really celebrating. They have great ways, even at their, regional offices, they do.
What are some of the ways?
Family picnics in the summer and dunk tanks and that kind of thing over the summer. They have, of course, holiday parties, and their holiday parties have their own, at each region, kind of their own flair, but something that is celebrated. People get up in front and talk about why we were celebrating what we were celebrating.
Yeah.
Or if we weren't celebrating, if we weren't having a great year, we were honest about that. Same thing at InvestNet. It was a very similar culture where we were just, the communication of it was honest and open. Now that we're here, it doesn't always have to be parties. It can also be just being appreciation. I find time in my week every week to appreciate people who I believe went above and beyond. And I think that goes a very long way, especially when you're at the top.
So what do you think of the leadership, the leadership styles that believe that they get paid to do the job? So why should I show appreciation?
Oh,
I'm playing devil's advocate, obviously.
I don't have any response to that. I can't imagine being that way. I really believe in teamwork. I believe in, I do believe in thanking people. I know it goes a long way. And having been in the, I know when I was young, having someone, at least from even a peer say, hey, thank you for that. Or you did a great job today. Yeah. No one shuns that. And the one thing I would just caution is be authentic about it. Don't just throw it out there. If someone didn't do a great job, don't tell them they did. Be honest and say, here were the things I liked, but here are some things I think you could work on. So I think that if they know it's coming from the heart and it's honest, it really goes a much further way.
So Lori, what haven't we talked about? Because there are some situations that are pretty difficult. What, in your experience, has been one of those situations that are difficult, just dealing with trying to develop that culture, or potentially difficult employees or leaders who we need to take measures that sometimes don't seem that are unpopular?
Well, we are living in an age where things change so fast. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've learned, I think a little bit the hard way, is that because things are moving so fast, and as a leader, you have to think about change and being a change agent from the top frequently. What I think people need to be careful of, and what I have found difficult, is when you talk about change, it's important to understand that the people who've been there a while may have a lot of pride in what they have built and what you're talking about changing. And so if you go in and say, okay, we got to change this, and don't explain why or how, or that it wasn't that everything they have is wrong, then that, people get more grounded and don't want to change when they feel like you're not acknowledging what they built and why they built it the way they did.
I like that point.
Yes. So it's important.
I like that point, because you're right. I mean, part of what we do every day is a lot of us bring our best to work. And when someone comes in and says, we're changing it all, it is no good. It's like throwing away years and years and years of your work.
Right.
So I so appreciate you making that comment, because it is about acknowledging that we've gotten this far
Right.
The people who have taken us this far, and that it's time to continue to evolve, which is a different story, right?
That's right. And I think that, oh, go ahead.
No, so it's not about throwing away the baby with the bathwater.
Right.
Right? It's about saying this is a great place from which to take off from.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I do think that more and more leaders are facing this, because when you look at the way things have changed, the kind of the new way of doing things is bringing in people even from outside the industry at the top, because we're trying to get new ways of thinking about things. And so many leaders do go in and say, okay, we're changing everything. Everything's, and not only do people feel vulnerable already because they don't have a relationship with that new leader, but they also feel like, oh, I can't even defend what we had and why we did it this way. Yes. So I will admit, I've learned the hard way on that as well. But I share it with others so that they don't go through that, hopefully.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights. And I think that you have shared with us celebrating as being one way to really keeping the team moving forward, hiring the right people. And I know we didn't talk about this, but once you hire the right people, how do you keep them motivated? And I think part of that is to acknowledge them.
That's right.
The work they're doing is appreciated. Finding those moments to create kind of a community within work. And to your point, we spend most of our times with each other.
That's right.
We spend more time with our coworkers than we do with our own family, technically, at least on a daily basis when it comes to Monday through Friday. So, is there anything else you want to share with us before we say goodbye and close this episode?
Well, I would just share one of my favorite quotes that is by an unknown author, but one of my favorite quotes, I would share that. So it's a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not on the branch, but on its own wings. And from my perspective, that gives me confidence, not on just the organization you're with and the team you're building, but in yourself. And if everyone feels that way, I think it builds a better, stronger organization and confidence that you can do it, whether or not everything else around you is working well or not.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And that's the reason why with Fearless Women at Work, that's exactly what I strive to do, is to help leaders develop so that they have self-leadership, as as it's called. And also part of what's really important to me is and I noticed just watching you, how you're able to bring the fun and the lightheartedness to things and the excitement that you have, which means to me that you have passion for what you're doing with Advisor Innovation Labs. And I think it requires for us leaders, men and women, this is not about gender, to integrate both sides of us, the attributes that are hard driving, demanding, pushing, get it done, with the compassion, the collaboration, the nurturing, right?
That's right.
The showing people that we really care, because at the end of the day, we could be the biggest innovators, but it's all about people.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. We are problem solvers.
I 100% agree with you.
we can program computers to do whatever we want them to do.
Right.
Create any type of networks that we want. But at the end of the day, it is us humans who are the problem solvers.
I 100% agree with that. And it's a lot of why I do what I do. I love the relationships. I love the human aspect of advice. And I think it's important. So
that's great, Lori. So how would people reach you?
I can be reached either by email or phone. My cell phone is 773-677-8003. And my email is lori@advisorinnovationlabs.com.
Great. Thank you so much, Lori. And you can reach me, Dr. Ginny Baro, at fearlesswomenatwork.com. And by the way, I don't know if you probably know, my #1 best-selling book was published this October. And we made it to the Amazon #1, which is,
oh my God, that's fantastic.
So, yeah, very, celebrating that this month for sure.
Oh, you should celebrate that for a couple months, my friend.
Yeah, at least for the rest of the year, right?
Well, congratulations on that. That's
thank you
very
so
well
much,
deserved.
Lori. It was great having you, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Baro. I appreciate it.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll be in touch.
All right, bye-bye.